Have music. Are you gonna sing?
No.
They're gonna think it was literally. They all know. They're like, "What song was that? It was so good."
Actually, that'll be the first song that is not censored by Google.
They're gonna censor it.
No, it's not a real song. Good morning.
How are you doing? Listen, we have to go here. Look,
What do we have to do?
to see our millions of fans.
Oh, yes, thank you. Good morning, live from the HR Technology Conference and Exposition.
Don't forget the exposition.
No, if you go on LinkedIn, if you want to tag them, by the way, if you're watching and you want to tag, they will be very happy for that. But it is the whole thing. That's what comes up. And you can't backspace, you know how? Like, you add things and sometimes it's first names. It is the whole thing or nothing. So conference and exposition. When you see that, good morning.
And we're sad if you're not here, but we're glad that we can show you at least a little bit.
We're not really sad. I mean,
I'm
we're sad.
I'm absolutely.
But I want to be honest. I'm not thinking about you at all. It's 7:00 in the morning in Vegas. Leave me alone.
Right. But we do have our coffee.
We do. Wow.
I know, right? It was.
Did you just buy that?
Yeah, because it was so cute. I was thirsty.
I didn't even notice that.
Listen, it's dry here, and the water's freaking $6 a thing.
$6 is a sale.
So I bought a $30 cup
water?
so that I can get water.
$9.
It's bad.
I am too. I'm a Starbuckser this morning. What did you get?
I got a tall, flat white.
Look at that.
Look at all that.
That's a lot. This is what I'm saying to everybody. Listen, the hack of the morning. If you're a flat white drinker, stop shaking your head. If you're a flat white drinker, you need to do so at Starbucks as an order of tall. Don't do the grande or venti because they're only going to give you a tall every time in the larger cup. That's all it's going to be. And Starbucks, you can at me. It's the truth.
Don't at me, bro.
Yeah. So that's why I don't. I got the barista was quite impressed with this order. A Grand Blonde Vanilla Latte with sugar-free vanilla syrup, 1 pump, light cinnamon powder.
Are you listening to this?
Yeah.
Order?
And a dusting of cinnamon powder, right? Yes. So this is, it's like,
that's what
we have an order for high maintenance. Oh, right here.
Right, exactly. Listen, first thing, we need to talk about the first thing that happened.
Why do you take, oh, you covered it.
I covered it.
I thought you were going to show it this morning. Okay.
I was going to take the sticker off so I could show them.
That's what I mean.
I had to cover this up. I don't know if you can see it. This is my badge, and underneath.
I didn't cover mine, so there's mine. But mine says basic and investor.
I'll take mine out. Mine says basic.
Basic. Jackie Clayton, basic.
I'm hurt. So I put a sticker on front of it.
I mean, we just need a moment there. That's kind of rough to walk around and see some people labeled as basic. That's a tough one. Just gonna say,
basic friends, basic friends.
We love being here. We love being here, but
we're gonna put that in the show, in the notes.
In the notes
for next year.
If you want to say bottom of the barrel package purchaser, make room for that. Make room for that.
But it's different. It's different.
By the way, that's $1,000.
Yeah, it's $1,000 to be basic.
Listen, I'm from Philly. I was basic for a lot less.
You were absolutely
a lot less. A lot less. I had to pay for college. A lot less, yeah.
But I just wanted to say, this conference this exposition is different. I haven't seen any live animals.
We just saw a pigeon.
We saw a pigeon who was just a friend. He was not part of anybody's booth.
And those who've been to large conferences,
we've seen things where they've had in the past. We've seen booths with Cirque du Soleil, Elvis people.
Yeah, I haven't seen any Elvis.
We haven't seen any Elvises.
I saw one
Wheel
card
of
trick
Fortunes.
magician. I did see that last night. One of the pub stops.
Right.
Had a magician was just doing card tricks. I mean, just listen to me.
Basic. It's been basic.
Basic. But usually, we go to places where Nationwide is there with pet insurance, and they've got the puppy corral.
Right.
I've seen none of that.
I've seen none of that this year.
No dogs, no cats, none of that stuff.
It seems like people are getting back to work. there is a lot of people that are trying to share what they're doing at work. But I haven't seen a theme before. Like there was a time we saw, it's like performance feedback last year, and then it was like AI, and then it was diversity, and like all of those things. I haven't seen a regular theme.
Well, I mean, of course, every booth, and as we look around, I mean, every booth has like a AI, Gen AI, something like that. Something that they're advertising connected to that. As we're at Workforce AI Edge, by the way, thank you so much to Visier for giving us the spot this morning.
And waking up really early to let us in.
We're going to have Sean come on in a little bit to join us. But we actually freaked out all the marketing departments and stuff because we forgot to let y'all know that we were sitting here. So sorry. Good morning, marketing. Why is this weird man labeling Visier all over?
Right.
Sorry. But I would say AI is still what people are talking about.
AI are what people are trying to talk about.
Well,
some people are just using the 2 initials.
One of the things that happens, if you've been at a conference, I'd say probably in the last 8 years, maybe, they started doing more things like delivered to your room.
Right.
If you're booking through the conference app itself, then they know where you are.
Right, the drop.
And they will only walk so far. Let's be clear.
Because I did mine through the app, yes. And they didn't put really basic. Like when you're staying at the Luxor, they didn't want to pay for the really. It's very expensive.
You apologize to the Luxor and all of its employees.
No, we're in our own union.
We are.
I stand with the Luxor.
I'm on the Mandalay Bay property, and so this morning, I don't know what time, but this gift was waiting for me. And I just want to say before we talk, it used to be stuff.
Yeah.
There used to be stuff like
plushy, stress ball, nothing like.
We're not talking about like know, because they know we're traveling, so you can't get big stuff. But it was that kind of stuff. Here we are. It's all paper thin because it is paper. So I mean, this is all that was in there.
But let me tell you, this stuff like this booth.
Yeah, Rippling.
It's huge this year.
And look, you can win a $1,000 Stanley. Is that what that says?
No, it says $1,000. Claim a cup or
try. We
should talk about that one day.
Yeah.
What's going on with Stanley? You either want $1,000 or a Stanley cup.
I don't know. I mean, by a show of hands is what I normally would say, but I can't see you.
There's 3 of us.
How many Stanley cups do you have at this point? Between Stanley and
sponsors?
No. What's the other cup? I can't think of the insulated cups that everybody has. Why am I blanking on the brand?
Oh, Yeti.
Yeti, thank you. So between Stanley and Yeti, like 1 million live in my cabinet, of which I'm not allowed to bring one more home.
I know, and I bought
look
one.
At what you
I
did.
know, don't tell.
It's a problem. Actually, I talked to your executive producer right before the show.
I know. That's why I was like, don't tell him I got a cup.
So Jackie's trying to get all set up, and our executive producer is calling. I'm like, I'll take it. Hello, this is your second spouse.
That's right.
So, and of course, he gave me all the love that he would normally give to you, but you're out of luck. So this is, listen to this. This statistic is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
So this is from Earn In, right? So 78%. I want to make sure I'm saying it right. I don't want to say Earn In.
I kind of wanted to say Earn In.
Earn In.
I thought you were going to say it. You did good.
Because that's Philly, right?
Right.
What you earning? So the 70. This is not funny though. Okay. 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. 78% live paycheck to paycheck, and obviously they're using that reality to talk about their pay on demand, right? So if you're here and you want to talk about pay on demand, they have that. But this advertisement to be put into that bag brought into our room, I don't even want to guess how much they had to pay, because they also have to pay through, I assume, the union because they're delivering it.
That's
the
right.
Staff, the hotel staff have to deliver.
That's right. And they had to let people in all of the rooms, so it wasn't. They couldn't just give it to some rando.
Right. Somebody, because it's a dispensary hotbed here in Vegas, and so some people might be worried about just sending one random person with a bunch of bags through the hotel with a master key. I would think that's a problem.
Yeah, probably not.
Have a good time.
That's right.
Oh, do you have stuff that you brought?
Well, I do.
I didn't bring my other bag.
I did yesterday, because yesterday they gave these out right at HR Tech, so you could get your free beer.
Higher Road, yes, they're here, and on the other side, we have our. We should give a little.
No, we shouldn't.
No. Okay.
And
Never mind.
here, I brought you a hat.
I won. Oh, Textio.
I know.
This is a Textio hat.
And then what we got? This was a good. I thought this was good.
Oh yes, my friends at Bamboo HR. Thank you, Bamboo HR, for the love that you give. This is one of those wireless chargers for all of your Apple devices at once. It doesn't have to be Apple, I guess. It's phone, watch, and AirPods.
But Bamboo, through the years. I mean, I should show you because you can't really see it. But I'll bring it the next time we hang out. They always have the cutest. They always have the cutest. They have the really, really cute swag. They usually give glass bottles.
Yes.
And I still had mine.
And I have my zip up hoodie that they sent me that is like really, really nice.
But I didn't get one. So, I mean, it's okay. I live in Texas. It's fine. But I will know what time I didn't get that.
Thanks, Bamboo. Keep it coming.
The traditional. It's a light.
Let me tell you something. First of all, Light, thank you so much, Light. I used to bring those home all the time. That the brand, because they would, whatever the brand is.
Right.
And I would give it to my girls. Their drawers were the top drawer full of these and finally they were like, Dad, we just keep taking them from you when you bring them home. We don't use it.
I know.
Because they use whatever her name is.
That's
Kylie lip gloss, because that's where I live. And I have zero idea that Kylie lip gloss is being purchased.
You never know when you need that thing. But when you need it, you need it.
Have you been in an airport and seen the Kylie vending machines?
I live in Waco, dude.
Oh, okay. If you've seen those, comment. But Kylie Jenner you can get her lip gloss and 2 other products on the go at the airport, big vending machines. I have to tell you, I sat at a gate once. I mean, it was only there for like 40 minutes waiting for my flight. At least a handful of people went over to that machine and purchased the lip gloss while I was there. And it's not cheap, y'all. It is not cheap.
I think you're bringing up a good point, because that's something that is a theme. You can't see, but it's like all of the booths are very glamorous.
Oh, it's a lot more effort, I think. And the ones that don't, they're probably hiding somewhere, and we haven't seen them
literally yet. There's nobody with the scarf on the table.
Honestly, this Visier booth is massive.
And
it is well done. Actually, I love this color.
I know. Actually, I'm like,
this color, we have to get a lot more. So speaking of vending machines, Visier had one. We got,
which is so cute.
Yeah, socks.
I love places where they give you choice, because they had multiple socks.
It was different socks. Right. It was 3 things.
And then they had I'm
like a llama something stuffed.
Is it a llama? You don't know.
Yeah. Sean will be on in a minute to talk about the llamas and Visier connection.
Was it an emu?
He spent a summer in New Zealand raising llamas, so he's going to talk about
that. The Visier alpaca.
If you know Sean,
it's actually named John.
And then there was something in a metal tin, cannabis. I can't remember what it said on the outside.
Cannabis.
If you all know what that is, you can comment.
I think it
was in a metal tin.
It's French.
Wrapped for freshness. It's only 15 minutes in, y'all. We're going to be thrown out.
I know.
But yesterday, I don't know if you went to, well, first of all, I shouldn't say I don't know. You did go to a session yesterday morning that I did not attend.
I did.
Because of my basicness. But how was that session for women in
It was good. It was, the thing is, it was talking about pay equity. And I'm going to take this off because of the jingle. I'm sorry. So they were talking. We're representing.
We're representing.
Emotional and difficult. I know you were looking at it and thinking,
right?
Oh, custom shirt. No, this is actually. Oh, look, there's Randy. Randy's up early. We have this is from Textio, because we're talking about feedback, and this is the feedback that some people have gotten, and I'm just representing. And we say you deserve better feedback.
Okay, and so this is one of the Humoriso T-shirts. So if you go on to the swag store, touching your tech. Look at it, Jamie.
Oh my God!
He's awake.
Touching your tech T-shirt. It's only $27.50. And on the back, it's the song.
It's our phone number.
1844 Humoriso. We're gonna start it right now. We're gonna start the song right
it's
now.
just like, Jenny back in the day.
It's
867-5309.
it just doesn't
It
rhyme.
rolls off the tongue.
It
just
does.
like that. Touching your text since
Very
2012.
demure.
I mean, can't get more inappropriate and yet endearing.
So back
Welcome
to
Jim Mariso. So
but
women in tech. Go back to women in tech, please.
hey, they were talking about how 1962 is when the first law was passed for equal pay, and then doubling down in 1963. But yet here we are in 2024, and it's still not fair. So they were talking about hiring for skills and what should we do in order to have fair pay. And people in the audience, it was a little hilarious because it was like, but how do you measure soft skills? But how do you measure this? But how do you measure that? And I was like, just pay everybody fairly. Let's just see what happens. We'll pass the hat for when you get sued for paying every fare, but you didn't give somebody extra pay because they were nicer because you didn't know how to put it on.
I mean, this is where it's like, I shouldn't be basic because they could be like, John, come up and do a song while we pass the plate.
Right. So we'll have
a little
lawsuit.
background music.
Yeah, we'll have a little kiki. It was just... that still is it's funny because it's recognized as a challenge, and then people were like, well, how are you supposed to fix it?
Yeah.
And then we talked about international, I feel like sometimes we go to these places and it's like stupid American tricks, because it was like, you can hire the best people all across the world, and they're like, yeah, but what about the time zone different? I don't want to hire anybody outside of the US because of the time zone.
I want to talk about that, but I just want to make sure we point out, do you see the demeanor that she takes on when she is imitating something? Like, I don't know who this person is.
Yes, you do.
Well,
they wear that same lip gloss. Yes, you do. You made a couple. I did too. Get real.
I mean, a little bit. A little bit. But it is a reality, though, right? That we're supposed to hire people all over the world?
Yeah, but they were saying, but then it was just really fun.
Aren't we?
It was like, people are like, you want to have the best talent, you don't have enough talent, so you should hire people all across the world. And then someone says, yeah, but what about the time zone? It was like, well, then you don't want to hire the best person in the world.
Right.
You want to hire the best person in your time zone.
That's right.
And
by the way, you are allowed to discriminate. Woo! He said it. You are allowed to discriminate based on time zone. Like, if that is not a protected class.
That's right.
So if your company cannot handle that,
like we are based in Seattle,
Yep.
and if you don't want to wake up early for the meeting,
then it's probably not for you.
that's what I was saying. I was like, how do you expect us to freaking hire people across the world? We can't even hire people like in Boston because the people in Seattle are like,
that's a good point.
they seem a little aggressive.
Yeah.
Like people, and that's not a real example. I'm just saying, people are like so discriminatory. Like, oh, they have really a thick accent, and you're like,
oh my
that
gosh.
accent? That's like Nashville. That's not a. What do you? I'm like, yeah, I don't think I want to hire him. So how are we gonna do
that thick accent is Nashville.
It's Nashville. That's the West Side. Like, what are you? So if we can't get that together, we're not ready. But we're getting there.
We are not ready.
Right.
By the way, Mandy, yes, we are very demure this morning. Thank you so much for pointing that out.
Right.
That is the word of the year. I have zero idea what it means, but I will take that as a compliment. We have clients that have hired across the globe, but they only started doing it because people left the U.S. and went to other places, and they didn't want to lose them. So that it was like, no, you can't. And they're like, listen, I'm going to Spain.
Right.
If you don't want me to keep working for you, I get it, but I am relocating to Spain. And the company was like, yeah, but we don't have a global workforce. We're only, for some companies, you're talking about 100 people, and you have one person who says, I'm going to Spain. That could be a really heavy lift for the internal perspective for them, right? Like, we don't do that.
To be fair, the product that they were talking about, it is a huge saver because it allows you to work instead of an EOR. This is the organization, so you don't have to have your own entity, and they will allow you to hire people in 150 countries.
Yeah.
That's a need.
Yeah.
And then when somebody's in the audience is like, what time? Just leave.
And if you don't know, and you said it really quickly, though, this employer of record thing, if you don't know how to use an EOR, right, an employer of record, because we're in HR, we have to use lots of initials.
Yeah.
It's just what we do.
That's right.
Acronym heaven. And if you don't, like do the research before you just say to someone flippantly like, oh yeah, you like we can put you on Trinet
Right.
with our PEO, and then Trinet's like, I'm sorry, no,
No,
you
we
can't
don't do that.
actually.
And it was like, what do you do if you have pay equity? Like, so this organization could help you when you're giving pay equity and doing in, some of the other places because,
Yeah. Well, and I, again, from a pay equity standpoint,
and it could be a benefit because, sometimes it's touch and go. A lot of people are moving out of the country.
Listen, you can be really wise, and I don't know if you've seen this,
You
but
could be wise.
you could be really wise about pay equity if you're worried about geography. So even if you just talk about the U.S., where you say, look, the job is worth what the job is worth, period. That's
Right.
kind of the approach it should be.
That's right.
But when you're doing this job in Sheboygan, because those
Right.
of you that love and know me, that's my default city.
That's right.
You could do this job in Sheboygan, and you can do the same job in San Francisco. The way to exist in those two cities is quite different.
And I don't think that's fair. Like, I think this is how you make it easy. You say, we're paying everybody $5.
It's hard
Like,
because
save
$5.
yourself. It is
I know
save
you're
yourself
saying
as
$5.
value. Right.
I know you're
But
saying
I mean,
$5.
it's valued higher. Like, I live in Waco, Texas. Like, if I made the same amount of money and I moved to, to any of the places outside, not very far, even out of Waco, it's a different amount. But we have to remember what we're doing. What we're actually doing is we're trying to give a fair wage. And you make that decision personally on where you live.
That's why the job is worth what the job is worth.
That's right.
So my bread is buttered a little differently in that the organization has to make a decision about how much this job is worth.
Yeah.
Do your research, run analytics, get a real good handle on those parameters, right? If that's why it's called a range. You don't just say, we have Stepford pay. Everyone is this exact number. No, there's a range because there may be some
they were
things.
talking about the range in Maryland, how they just came out.
You can't do a $50,000 range, although
and Maryland is like,
yeah,
come on,
yeah,
like what's really the range? I'm putting it together. Like you can't it's somewhere between $25 and
New York City, even for the job postings, New York City is going to town, or trying to, I should say, when it comes to trying to catch employers who are posting job ranges, comp ranges for job ads, obviously because that's a city where it's required, and people are putting job ranges for X job 60,000 to 140,000.
That's right.
And New York City's like, that's not what
the problem is. They didn't know because they don't know how difficult we make HR so that we can feel better about ourselves. And now we're just fully getting exposed. Do you mean the lifetime of the role? Do you mean what we're hiring today?
Yeah.
Do you mean what we've had budgeted? And they're like, bitch, if you don't put that pay range on there, you're going to jail. And 73% of organizations have started adding the pay range.
Yes.
And that turn happened in 1 year.
1 year. And it was way overdue.
Absolutely.
Because as recruiters, when we've both done talent acquisition, like what is the first question you're asked on a phone screen? Right from the beginning. Oh yeah, I remember. There wasn't a range. How much is this job paying? And you'd be like, well, we'll get to that.
Right.
Let me ask you this before I say anything else, right? And the person on the other end is like, we're already causing animosity.
Yeah.
With this candidate, and honestly, we shouldn't cause animosity.
No. And I think like the transparency is really key to all of that. What did it say? Oh,
if you don't.
Sorry, Kim. Yep.
Yeah.
But really,
good morning,
though.
Kim, by the way. Kim ran into me yesterday morning, walking with Kathy. My executive producer was here for the weekend and left yesterday morning before all the chaos because she didn't really want to be, And so I'm walking her to the Uber to catch her flight, and poor Kim comes out of the elevator. I'm like not 100% there. I just rolled out of bed to walk her down. Kim's like, hi, good morning. Kim, I'm so sorry. I was not my best. I was like, hi. Yeah, so sorry. But to that point, I will say just on the pay consideration, there is something at times to be said about having things that are add-ons.
That's right.
Meaning like geographic add-ons. And so if you have a role that is, you've made a decision that this is what it's worth.
And letting people know the total comp.
Letting people know.
Because that's the part of like 1 or 2 times a year with the total comp, because people literally forget that you do have equity, that we do pay for your whole benefits for everybody in your family. We do offer all of these things with the total comp package of your role.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, I don't say a lot of people, but when you're looking at, a lot of people don't know what they're actually getting paid.
Yeah.
And so they want to leave another job for an extra $10,000 when they're really leaving $30,000 behind for the extra 10 because they don't know what the total compensation is.
It is, and by the way, that is not. Don't report that. If you're doing participating in research platforms for comp ranges that we use for external comp benchmarking, we still have individuals in particular, but some companies that'll use total comp as the number they put in, but it's supposed to be base salary, there's incentive, there's that sort of stuff, and it messes with the data. So please make sure you know what you're putting in there because we don't want to have messed up data.
That's right. And then you're adding AI on top of all that data that you didn't know, like you didn't clean, like make sure like you're getting that piece, like you understand what the data is when you're giving those things. If you have those performance specialty AI options that you're being able to add to your organizations or to your packages or whatever you're using.
To your package.
Your package.
Yours. The touching your tech. We're gonna have Sean jump on with us because we're talking about this stuff. So come on.
Is it okay?
It's
to have
100%.
the red next to the pink because I was taught.
Oh,
I
no.
can't
Actually,
my daughters are gonna be so stoked. I'm like, hey, red and pink.
everybody,
You can't do that.
You usually see Sean in
the
chat.
comments.
Yeah.
See, one day, y'all keep commenting. This too could be your.
If you can
dream
offer
come
a
true.
50-foot booth, they will.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, and if you're willing to wake up really early.
Actually,
run
you
even
already
earlier.
did a run this
I
morning.
ran
yes?
this morning.
How many miles?
It was like 5.
Like 5? I don't know what that means. Was it 5?
It was 5.
Okay, it was 5. It's not like 5.
Like 5.
Well,
right.
actually, Jackie can tell you with the watches, we all know exactly
Yeah,
how far
it was like, you know,
Where's your watch? How
5.03.
much was it?
It was 5. I know it was 5.
Oh, okay.
I don't do the. Do you do the little extra run thing? I don't ever do that. Like you get to
Yeah.
4.92.
I
This is
was
how you tell a lot
literally,
about
that's
people.
me.
You
Yeah.
see them out in the parking lot
Oh no,
doing
that's me.
laps,
Oh, yeah.
so they can get to 5.
Yes.
I fully am like, I'm supposed to do 5, and so I'm like,
I'm
I
that
go back
person,
out
too.
like this,
I don't. I just stop.
and on my
No.
watch it'll be like really colored. It's like I just needed to get
It
that
will bother
extra
me.
boost.
It
Yeah.
will bother me all
I need
day
to look
long.
at mine later because I went to the grocery store this morning and I didn't turn my watch off. So there'll be me going up
That's
on
me,
the aisles
yeah, I'm like,
looking
what?
for things.
Sean went to the grocery store this morning to buy cannabis. So it was,
His cannabis.
I was not offered cannabis. I was offered it was more of a service offering at the store than products
Oh.
this morning.
my
Yes.
gosh.
Oh, you couldn't bottle it.
No.
Oh,
And I think I was telling you guys, this is how you know you
I
become
thought that's what you
older.
were talking about. I didn't
No,
know. it was that.
no.
I'm so
this
sorry.
is why
I
like
wouldn't have brought it up.
this is how you know
Because
you're
your
older.
spouse may be watching, correct? I don't
Yeah,
want
she
that
is.
to be an issue.
listen,
So this is how you know you're older when I'm starting to process the whole, I'm running, so I don't
Right.
have like a lot of stuff. So they must take Venmo.
right. Like,
And then is that cash? Is that taxable? What NAICS code does
Yeah.
she file under?
Yeah.
Like,
they
if
even take
you-
Apple Pay.
I'm
How do you
telling
know
you that
this?
is true.
No, I'm
I'm gonna tell you a story.
assuming all you had
No,
was
no.
your watch, right?
I don't know. Somebody was with me, and if it was you, please comment. But years ago, I was at a conference in DC, and they closed now. Fido was like a hangout in DC that we would walk to from this conference, and there was a woman. Obviously, there's a homeless population in DC, just like many large cities, and there was a woman set up outside of Fido because they had an outlet, external outlet. She had her laptop charging. She had her cell phone plugged in as well, charging. And she's sitting there, blankets. She had done her territory, and she had her sign asking for support and said, "I take Square." And on her phone, she had the Square app
Oh.
that she would swipe your card because who carries cash anymore?
That's true.
That's like a new was we carry in the car like a homeless pack instead of giving out
Yeah.
money.
Yes, yeah.
But it'd be interesting to provide Square.
Yeah.
Well, I
Like
mean,
a
and I'm
Venmo.
telling my executive producer, and she was like, "Well, what did you do?" And I was like, "Listen, I gave all the props for being entrepreneurial,
Right.
and thinking like, listen, all of these rich people in DC are not
That's right.
carrying cash,
That's right.
but there was no way I was letting my credit card be swiped
Oh,
because I
absolutely.
didn't know where that was going to
No,
go
I'm not
beyond
swiping
that.
that.
But I did appreciate the ingenuity, for real. Like, good for you.
So tell us, Visier, how's the show been going so far?
It's good. So it's like my 23rd one.
Right.
here.
No,
So
it's
it's
not.
interesting.
Is it really?
Yeah.
You've been here
Well,
a
I
long
started
time.
when I was 5.
Right.
Yeah, it was like a field trip.
Nobody believes
It was
that.
it was a field trip. So it was interesting listening to you guys. 7?
Honey.
By 7?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is interesting. It's different. The one thing I noticed actually was people are dressed nicer this time.
Yeah.
You know that there's more suit
I
jackets.
did
That's
see
right,
a
a lot more
suit
suit
jackets
Were
and
you
things.
free? We said that yesterday. Yeah, a
because
lot more.
I don't even know.
Of course, I didn't bring one. So.
Yeah, I don't have one. I don't even. I think I have one somewhere, but no one's died since we moved, so I don't actually
Right.
know where it is, or got married, I guess.
Right.
So I don't know
You
where it
really
is.
don't know where it is. You have
It's-
one?
Yeah, which is one too many.
Oh.
But like,
He's got one somewhere.
Somewhere.
I have a
to dust it
tuxedo too.
Oh,
That I probably,
that
and I
would
bet
be
the last
something.
3 times I've worn it have been to run in costume dresses,
Right?
not to actually wear it to an event.
Oh gosh, it would be fun to have you wear a tuxedo here.
we should have
At the
a
booth.
running club. We should try to do that.
You should do it. Honestly, this is the greatest thing about these conferences when they have expo halls like this. You could wear the tuxedo. Visier could set up like a backdrop to say, take a picture with Sean. People will stop and take a picture with you because they think they should know who you are.
Oh yeah, they should. Yeah,
Do you know what I
That
mean?
would be funny.
Because
But I think
they
you
don't
should
want to
just run,
not
we
know.
could just run a whole 5K in this
we
freaking
probably could
thing
around.
around
For
the
sure.
various booths.
For sure. You
I
could
think
do.
it's the dressing, and there's less coffee actually.
There is a
Fun to
lot
make
less
A
coffee.
lot less coffee. Like
Yeah.
I went looking yesterday, and I'm like, come on.
I
of
didn't
course
see
we
any.
don't-
Did
I
you
didn't
see any? I
No,
didn't see
the
any.
Today
booth
there
that I
will
went
be.
last.
Today there will.
Okay.
I just.
I don't know.
Yesterday's not a full day.
No, but still, they have to set up the whole.
There's 2 breaks in here. One is this morning.
Well, I meant in the
10.
No,
booths,
the
though.
booths where they have the.
Oh,
Has
I'm
that
sorry.
fancy
Yeah,
coffee
Yeah,
and
not like
whatever.
they'll have the.
But there are this one I just saw, and then there was another one. There are booths that are giving out K-cups.
Yeah, I did see K cups.
Just the cup.
Just the cup,
cup,
because they
which-
said when you go back to your hotel room, I know, but
I
this
know,
is
but-
why when you
Oh.
go back to your hotel room, everything's censored.
I know that's scary. That area,
Yes.
I quarantine that area
I
from
mean,
my room.
listen,
I'm like
I'm
scared
not
I will
touching that
bump
thing,
it.
right?
Especially which hotel are you staying at?
I'm at the Delano.
Okay, so in the Mandalay, it's like I don't even know what this other box is. It's the like satisfaction box or
Yes.
something inside.
Yeah,
But it's like
you should have ran
coffee,
with that
coffee,
this
water,
morning.
water,
Oh, sorry.
stuff. And then there's that box, and I'm like, I
Mm-mm.
kind of want to know what it is, but
Okay.
I can't. I don't go within 5 feet of
If
that.
you had run with the
carousel.
satisfaction box this morning, you would have been prepared for the opportunity.
Wow.
Ay, Dios mío.
Well, next to this grocery store I went, luckily I'm a child because it was the adult superstore, so I couldn't go in. And
That's
luckily
right.
I'm a child, so I was like,
That's
I can't
right.
go in there.
Was not allowed.
Yeah,
That was
but,
not
but that was right next to the grocery store.
This is a theme for you, right? So we were at dinner on what is today? Wednesday, Monday night. A crew of us went to dinner, and I was sitting next to you, and you ordered, and you were like, "I'm sorry." Like in advance, I eat like a child. I'm
Right,
going to order like a child, and I eat like a child, and he did.
Well, and my wife
We
says
were at a
I'm
French
like,
restaurant, though.
Yeah, I was like,
A French
I'm
restaurant,
55
yeah.
going on 19, and I think she says 19, so I'm legal.
Right.
Probably less. She doesn't
He
want
had,
to go to jail.
we were in a French restaurant. You had French fries.
I did have their French
Steak
fries.
French fries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're French.
Yeah.
I was
Honestly,
leaning in.
but the server Mike was not even trying to like sugarcoat. He didn't say steak frites. He was like, "Do you want French fries?"
Right.
I mean, it was like just talk to us as we are. And
Listen.
Yeah, but Matt was super stoked because
Yes.
he's British
Felt
and he's like,
free.
oh, good.
Yeah.
Some other person's
Matt
going
was
to do it.
free
Now
to
I
order
can
it.
do
Yes.
That's
Well, then
right.
it's chips where he comes from.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that sounds better. I think.
That's right.
it. So next time I should order chips.
You should say,
But they're French fries.
but say it in a British accent and say chips, and they'll know what you want. That's how to do
Listen.
it. It's a lot of work.
Listen to me.
It's a lot of work.
Give me some fried potatoes. Stat. I'm not gonna argue. The fruits, like when the Harcourt Verts,
So this,
the
I
green
want.
beans.
I want to know. Oh, hi.
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 Oh.
We're doing
Oh,
thumbs up.
how did we do that? I
No,
don't
that's
know.
when you put your thumb up.
Do your other finger.
No, I don't know how that one works.
Oh, no, that's not what it is.
Oops.
I do. This is not a paid advertisement, but since we're staring at it the whole time, I think we should probably talk about it. What is Workforce AI Edge?
So I mean, I'm a little biased.
I need you to obviously.
biased.
No one,
So,
but we
the
had
way-
it staring at us
The
the
way
whole time.
Visier handles the AI piece is actually super cool, both on the generative AI piece and the agent technology, and it's baked into all the analytics.
Yep.
So actually, when you talk about companies that are, trying to do things and speak like normal humans instead of comp people,
Yeah.
because they, and instead of comp ratio, just what the hell do I pay? So by the way, this is the indoor version of the lawn people.
This is the
This is
landscaping
the indoor.
from last
Like we
week.
usually on our show have the lawn people. Today, carpet people.
So it's the
Who are
line.
awesome.
It's the
Thank
indoor
you so
line.
much.
That's right.
So if you hear any background noise, that's what's
Yes.
happening.
If they start tearing our carpet up, I'm going to be super excited.
Oh, why?
So no, I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
yeah.
So the way that Visier handles integrating V, as they call it, into the tool is great. So either, I don't know too much, the agent technology versus for those at the Gen AI, so the job creation and all that stuff. But I really dig the agent technology where you're like, there's all these analytics. I just want to know who's overpaid, what women are underpaid.
That's
How do I fix that? Where do I take the money from? And be able to type that in and have the system do all the work. That's the other side of AI people don't talk about.
That's the thing that's always like we talk about the prompts. Like we're talking about having to go in and ask for what you're asking, looking for what you're asking for, and it not doing it unless you get it right, perfect. But then you can say, hey, this is all I want. Like instead of adding all those different things to get the results.
Stackable is the other. So we embed that. We have like 55,000 clients using it. So some of the goes through partners that are really small. So there's companies with 5 and 10 people, and they don't have.
Yeah.
What are we talking about? They don't even have personnel department.
Oh my
right?
gosh.
So they've got someone
Personnel.
Personnel. So they don't have that. They've got an office manager. They got someone using it that wants to look at analytics, and they don't know comp. Like they go to World at Work and be like, what are these crazy people talking about?
Yeah.
So the ability to type in natural language, and I call it stackable, the ability to then ask a question on top of a question, like, well, can I ask this? And I don't have to start over again or go to prompt school or go Google a prompt school. Like, so that piece is actually really cool.
There's a lot of change though in this. I mean, this is like,
it's happened really
fast.
Like even now with like if you look at ChatGPT and then they had the 4.0 and then they like with the mini and all of the different things, like it's happened really fast and they're making the suggestions to try to make people smarter, because we know like some people still have a hard time just with Google.
They're trying to make people smarter.
Right.
Good luck.
Listen, it doesn't work. Like I always say, when we started the Salisbury steak, like who's ever made a Salisbury steak? No one ever.
Yeah.
As soon as they had frozen Salisbury steak, the Salisbury steak people were gone. Done. Never make it.
Listen.
Very rare to see somebody
those of you who remember, the Encore 6-pack of Salisbury steak. I mean,
right.
Come on now.
With rib meat.
TV dinner.
What was that? I don't know what animal it was. What was a Salisbury? I don't know.
I don't know.
But I mean, it made
it was
people
a treat.
stop learning how to do
They
it.
were not specific.
And my
That's
old
right.
boss who like worked on spell check always says, we didn't make people smarter. We didn't make people did not learn how to spell when we made those things. And so, but it's the same concept where it's supposed to free you up to do other things. And because this is what we do know. The exposition hall has not gotten smaller over the years.
No.
We have not figured this thing out.
It is not. And honestly, the thing that always for me is the indicator is the startup area, the startup pavilion. What are these tech products aiming to solve? And there are times where I'm like, well, gosh, don't we have 7 of those out there already? And they're like, yeah, but and then there's always this like, here's the other angle that we're trying to come at this, right?
But that's where I think people need to get like, as much as we have, we think our tool's the best, right?
Of course.
But people come to us for different stuff, and they probably come to you, and you're like, well, what are you trying to solve first? Because there's like the tech right now. Like, I mean, I came from development, and what we could do when I was younger, not long ago.
A couple years ago.
Last millennium.
This guy.
Last millennium.
Early aughts.
Last millennium.
So last millennium, literally when I was, started slinging code, we thought 40,000 rows was like, okay, we're going to run that and, take our 3.5-inch floppy drive.
Right.
That's how the security was. And now how fast we can write code, the things that AI can do, along with being able to go through trillions of records. The competitors
that we
don't
can
tell
write
us.
code now.
You can write code.
I know.
Python, people can write Python in code.
Yes.
We can process trillions of records.
But that is
fast. But what do you want to do with it?
That's the problem. Because and so many people, and what we've seen as a result are people solving a problem that we didn't think we had. They're solving things like, is this a problem?
Yes.
And also they have all these data. They're giving us other information that we haven't learned how to process yet. So that's why it's really important of knowing, what are you trying to solve?
The problems are still the same, right? And so stack order your problems, right? Do I have a turnover problem?
That's right.
What is, now you can go through and just picking on analytics. I can tell who I'm losing, when I'm losing them, how long I'm losing them, all that. But the problem's still freaking.
We have a manager problem. We have a teaching management problem. Understanding we don't have a standard framework for how to manage people in different industries per various industries.
But that's complicated.
That is
generational.
complicated, yeah.
Like,
Sure, but it
you
just,
know.
I mean, as soon as you think we figure it out, then it changes because then we're adding other things to it.
Well, and it depends too on so if you're incremental, right? So if you are, meaning if I started as an entry level X, whatever it is, and then I got promoted at the company where I was working to a mid or to senior level X, right, through time, and then I got finally made a manager at that company. I may be working for a company that is as SMB, right, as a small business when I do that, because I'm looking to get to that level, perhaps to then leapfrog to mid-market company, to an enterprise level organization, and try to scale that. What it takes to be a manager for a small business and what being a manager at an enterprise level organization, they're very different.
Very different.
Well, it's
It's
human
not-
resources too. Like
That's
people
right.
who are really good at individual contributor roles, sometimes they're just the shittiest managers.
That's
Yes.
right.
Like,
Yes,
and so
we don't
how do
curse
you
on the
measure
show.
that?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. They are not the most.
Have you met Jack?
Yeah.
But it's true. I mean, and that's what I mean with that, like a manager, because then, especially if you go into management at an SMB, maybe you know how to manage that particular organization.
Yes, right,
But it's not a standard
right.
for other
And
organizations.
often those individuals pick up, I'm going to say, good habits and bad habits from the business owner or the senior leadership that's at that small
That's
business. And so that's the frame of reference. Oh, I should yell and scream at the people that work for me the way that this business owner does, right? Who
That's right.
comes, who, visits and then says, everyone sucks. We've got to do better. I mean, I've seen these business owners come. Some of you, I'm sure, I apologize in advance. You're working for people like that right now. I'm hitting a nerve.
And also,
I
he's
feel
sorry
that.
to those that he had
I-
early in his career.
I
He
never
didn't mean
did that. I never did that.
Mhm.
BJ, don't you comment. If
Not directly to
it. Right, not in front of their
not in front of them.
Yeah.
No, it was always behind closed
Yeah,
doors, right? But that becomes, I legitimately have worked for small business owners who were like that. And the managers who did well were the ones who really mimicked that. When they went somewhere else, it didn't work.
But
Right.
I think it's going to get more complicated.
Yes.
And to your point of training managers. So if you think of a customer service center that has 4 levels, right? And you start allowing the initial customer service, FaceTime or whatever, to be chatbot, AI, whatever. And then as things get escalated, to a level 3 or a level 4, that's who handles the, can I talk to your manager questions?
Yes.
Right.
But how do people progress through that? And it's, 1, 2, 3, 4 as they move up. And now if you're going to not have a level 1 and 2, like,
Yeah.
how do you get to level 3 and
Yeah.
4? Are you just going to put them in there? How are you going to train them? And it's still, they're still humans.
because we could still dig deep. Literally, I was thinking, while it's really annoying on American Airlines, where I'm like, I need help, and they're like, can't find your bag. Like, it asks you all the questions, and I'm really mad.
Oh,
But as a manager,
you mean the AI prompts? Yeah.
the AI prompts,
And you
it's
just
like,
keep hitting
hi.
0, 0, 0,
They're
0,
like,
0, 0, 0. It has to
can
give up at some
disconnect.
time.
Right? They're
Yeah.
like, is it your ticket? Is it this? No. Is it this? Is it that? Like, please stop.
It's been
Like, please.
disconnected. Zero
like,
has
help
been
me.
disconnected. Stop
No,
hitting
I
zero.
just want to know, what's for lunch. I just want to order a vegan meal. Like, it just, but nowadays, I think there are some things that AI can really help, or these are some of the situations and understanding, especially when people are not sure if it's something that they should be able to bring up. When should we go to different departments? Like,
Yes.
this is something like maybe that you should go to HR, or maybe you go.
But my concern is, you're not wrong. Let me make sure I say that.
I
She's not
appreciate
wrong,
that.
everyone. My concern is, one of the things that HR sometimes has a tendency to do is we find a tech product that says they're going to help with this.
Oh.
And we want to plug and play. Oh, thank God. We now have a skills
No,
assessment
you're right.
that tool. And so I just, here, do this. And what happens in HR? Check. We make
There's
sure that
still
the
a
task has been
self-service
completed.
Element that we can
yes,
add that
but
will
it
be better
becomes
than it
about
was
task
before.
completion. We
Instead
do
of
the same thing with performance reviews.
yeah,
How many
that's a
HR
whole
folks,
nother-
like
right? And you have managers writing these performance reviews that are a train wreck. But here goes the HR level, whatever it is in your company, that is just going into your HRIS and saying, oh, Jimmy the manager, oh, look at all those checks. His whole team is done. He did all of his
They're all
performance
5s, of course.
reviews.
listen,
And we don't even
right,
care sometimes.
right.
They're just making sure that it's complete.
That's what I was saying earlier too about when it was performance reviews, and there's other
Yes.
tools that we're doing engagement. We saw that a number of years ago,
Yes.
and it'll say, oh, don't worry, 89% of the people love this. And I'm
Yeah.
like, if you're not looking at that, 11%, and all of them are a member of a protected class, you have a big problem.
Yes.
Even if it's
But
just
that's where
11%.
I think that like all these tools that are baking in the AI piece, you can go back in. And so if you got 100 employees, you can go back into a spreadsheet and be like, why, Sean's department sucks, he sucks, but yet he gave all his people fives.
Right.
That's right.
And you're like, you can see that.
Because
when you
that's
have
what
10,000 employees,
That's right.
how do you go catch all that stuff out?
That's
Yeah.
right.
And with pay for performance and pay equity,
That's right.
that's where it gets really interesting, because you're like, if I give all people fives, the system will basically say, well, I've paid equitably.
Right.
But why are all, now I'll label myself, old white dudes,
Right.
why are they getting fives? And, women are getting threes.
That's
but
right.
then when you back into the numbers, and that's the cool part with being able to add more and more data, is you're like, well, they keep giving Sean a 5.
Right.
Okay, fine. But look at his production. He sucks.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And
Yes.
and Jackie's.
This is a true story, by the way.
I've reiterated it everywhere. Everyone
right.
knows.
He gets 5.
No, but I mean,
he sucks.
we don't share. We also don't share.
Actually, the 5's aspirational. I'm being aspirational.
Stars. I like stars. 5 stars.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
I'd like
actually
3.5 stars.
I've
I
heard
love
about
that.
the gold
Sucks.
stars. I've
Yeah.
never
I
seen
love the 1 through 5 rating when you're like,
4.
It's like
4.
a-
Don't get me
it's
on
like
that.
a
Make it
1 and
a
a
4.
half.
Make people a choice. A
It's
4.
kind
I
of
like
a
a 4-point
2,
rating.
3.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yes.
what does that
Force
mean?
distribution.
Well, and it
Right.
becomes insulting then
Yeah.
because people receive this and they're like, what do you mean I meet expectations?
But that's the change over time. Like pay equity is going to
That's right.
cause, like if I want to create a merit matrix and I want to pay people where they are in the range versus
That's
their
right.
performance and all that stuff, you're going to have to, and I'm not a big fan of force ratings, but
Right.
you're going to have to
Yeah.
measure that stuff. And then the other one's opportunity equity.
Well,
Like
and
opportunity, how do you check that in a large company?
I think
like,
it's-
are
Yes.
women getting as much of an increase or an opportunity to get promoted? Because I've talked to a small company, and one of the ways that you would fix pay equity in a cohort would be like, well, I'm just not going to give Black women promotions because I'm going to keep giving them 3 to 5%. They'll be high paid. I'm going to meet my pay equity.
Right.
But the opportunity equity is like, what did you just do?
And there's another problem that we don't acknowledge is that like we there people are different culturally. So like I don't feel like I should be giving people this amount of raises, or people aren't asking for the raises, so I'm not
Yes.
giving them, and then other people doing that, and
Why are
then
they talking
oh, well, they
about their
don't
pay?
ask.
You can't
I
do
mean,
that back in our day.
Oh,
Yeah.
Don't talk to John about
Yeah.
how much you made.
Yes.
Don't tell
Yes.
HR.
Yeah.
Right. And people, and the other part that people need to acknowledge, and this is what's so important. So like being in HR, there's things that we know that they don't know
Right.
as a manager. Like, no, well, all I said was that they had really nice hair. It's like, no, what you did was like, you potentially committed a crime.
Well,
Like there's laws and things in place that
Jensen did
managers
this last
don't
night,
know.
which was great. So one of the examples that he gave last night, when he did like a 20-minute, is
Yeah.
that what it was? So the CEO at Texio, he was doing a performance review and mentioned, and I'm going to say this in kindness,
Mhm.
someone saying, you're doing a great job, and as a new mother trying to balance
Oh,
home and everything you're doing at work,
Sorry.
it's amazing to watch. And honestly, I get the spirit of that.
Right.
In the sense of like the manager saying, I'm giving you mad props. Like you're
Right.
trying, it's a whole new world with the mom thing, and you're
Right.
killing it at work. Like you're killing it everywhere. I just want to make sure I'm affirming that.
Right.
But that is problematic in a performance appraisal to
That's
be
right.
like, as a new mom, you're doing well.
Right.
Oh, well,
Right.
ooh, I shouldn't be
What's that
commenting.
bar?
Right,
Right.
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 But I will tell you, if I sit with a manager who is raised in that SMB world coming up, they're going to look at me like, are you kidding me? That's a problem? I'm complimenting. She's killing
That's
it.
right.
I'm writing that she's killing it. I know.
And you can't catch up. And if we're in a remote world where it's illegal in this state, maybe not in this state, and it gets twisted, and you'd have to add all of the different pieces. I wish y'all could see what's going on.
we
around
just had
here.
to drive by. I don't know if she's talking
Besides
to
the,
someone
like,
that's
the
recording
government
us.
Was
I
it
didn't know if
this?
she
I
was
think she was
recording
recording herself.
I think
And
she
then,
was
are we
talking to
okay
her
with
friend.
this person taking pictures of us,
Huh?
by the way? This
Yeah,
person
we look really
I
good.
don't
I
know.
think we did a good
Do you know
job.
who that
Well,
is?
I don't know who it is,
Okay.
but I think he's messaging right now how the pink and the red don't go. And
No,
he's like, did you
I
see
wish-
it against the teal?
I
He's
wish-
like, this is.
If Robin, if you're on this morning, I don't know if you had a meeting, but she feels some sort of way about pink and red, just so you know, like it
Listen.
drives her crazy.
Right.
So we'll get messages later. But there are people who wear this, like they'll do a red top with pink pants, for real.
I almost wore this with my pink pants. And then I was like,
It's a lot of Pepto.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
My colors are blush.
My colors are blush and bashful. Her colors are pink and pink. Mama, it's blush and bashful. Weezer.
Please join us for our interpretive presentation.
That's right. We
of Steel
said we were
Magnolia.
going to do. Yeah, we said we were going to do one show dedicated just to musicals.
But
Jackie, we do all of.
we will have to do one. Someone had me sing in
That's right.
Chicago the other.
We
the
need a
music
human
from
resale
Chicago.
vehicle.
I would. So I.
I
one,
agree.
Just
one of the
we don't wanna rent-
logos.
you don't want to rent a booth next year. You
That's right.
just want to rent the thing and just drive around with you.
And that's what I said last year. Like, we'll just get shirts and we'll just like hit the floor.
It's
and
not
go
on
to all
this
the
one though.
things.
I have another shirt somewhere. One of the logos for Humoriso is the Vespa, right? So because of the Italian thing, hey, and
I apologize
That's
to
what
my
I want.
Italian wife and all Italians.
I mean,
for
come
that.
on.
Do you remember when the guy came on that was like, you and I know Baldino? When it was like, you were like, oh yeah, who is it? Is that Giuseppe from the old country? Get out of here. You remember that? Jamie, go find that episode because
Yes,
it
I
was
don't remember.
literally the
Yeah.
funniest.
Jamie, go find that
I've never
episode.
been the same. Jamie.
Poor
Jamie's
Jamie.
like, I'm not showing my
Jamie's
face.
like, I can
screen.
barely put the chat on.
Last
This
week he
entire
had to
show
put his
is
face
about
on
to
because
go.
no one's on, and now you guys are having.
This
He might
show
just,
is going
one day
dark.
he's just gonna pop himself up and be like, you two.
He
enough.
did. He did last week. I was
did.
like, okay,
It was
we have
so
created a monster
hilarious.
now.
It was absolutely hilarious. Where it was like you almost felt like you got on the wrong channel, like you were on the wrong way. Like what happened? It was great.
This, by the way, this conference, in terms of talking about management, my encouragement would be if I were here with managers, let that be something you do once in a while. I think it's good to bring a colleague or two with you who's not experienced this.
Yeah.
And we have, again, I shared it with you. You know, I was talking to Mervin. Mervin, we love you, Mervin. And Mervin's like, do you remember when, Tammy and Frank got married? And I was like, yeah. He's like, this was, I forget what year he said. And I was like, oh my gosh. He's like, John, we've been coming here a long time.
Right.
And I thought, you know what? Like, it got to be a little sweeter. Like Jamie's here now, and I've come with other team members in years past. It was sweeter when I started opening the door. I could open the door to be like, come with. I know it's expensive, so I appreciate that as well. But come with, because there's a lot that can be talked through from like a management, from a directional perspective for your organization. Just walking the floor.
Just how much
Because you
stuff
run
there
because you
is,
run
because
into
I
so
don't
much
think you get
stuff.
the whole-
Yes.
And also you can do the I call them trade show booth demos.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
if there are any Visier salespeople watching this, I apologize.
Yeah, right,
You
right.
can basically go in.
But he's
and
talking
get-
about you.
Yeah, talking to you. Like you can go in, like you can walk in and I tell people all the time, look at Visier. Like I don't even manage that piece. Like
He's pissed.
Oh,
He's walking in big and tough. Jamie just walked in,
oh my god.
broad-shouldered, coming. I thought
he's
he's
coming
coming
down here?
to yell at
Oh,
us because
God.
we talked
He
about
looks
it.
So
Yeah.
like for example, like Visier, the 9-box where they show where people are in the space and the cool kids are in the top right, the
9
losers
box.
are in the bottom left, right? Like Visier is always in the top right. And like if you want to learn about people analytics, you slide in on the DL,
Yeah.
get
Right.
a demo,
Yeah.
you see the best thing possible, and you both bust out. To do that anywhere else, and then you go compare with a bunch of others, and you can do that for TA, you can do it
That's
for
right.
all this stuff here, and like in 2 days you can get a scan of the market.
That's right.
And also the art of the possible, back to figuring out like
I
what
love
do you
the art
what
of
do
the
you want to
possible.
do? Well, what do you want to
Yes.
what do you want to solve?
That's right.
And is that solvable, and by how? And pretty soon you can be like, actually I could solve that.
Right.
Because like comp planning I've talked about, it's been based on what Excel can do for years. Is it the
Mhm.
best for my
That's right.
company?
That's right.
No, but I don't know how to do pivot tables. So
And
this
that,
is
I
what
was
it
just
is.
going to say,
That's right.
And if
And
I learned some VB scripts, we'd
Excel
even get
is
better.
still
That's right.
How cool would we be?
pivot tables, even just saying it, I know some of you are in PTSD mode right now.
I got a
Like,
little
that's
nauseous. I threw up
big
in my mouth a
deal.
little
It
bit.
is a big
But now you can
deal.
like dream big. Say, what's the way I want to handle it? How
Right.
do I want to do this stuff? Can I do pay equity at the same time? Can I
That's
do
right.
all this? Like, what do I want to solve? And then back into the data you need in the tech.
I'm looking right now at looking at pass-throughs with like DEIB work, like all of the way to the end user of the product, looking at your software, being inclusive in my own team and seeing what's being able to produce and how is that affecting like the people that are actually using the product, and all of these things that we can pass through and look at those things. We never would have been able to do that before.
So that's Ike.
I-
So you can say
Ike.
Ike. So
Well,
Ike's actually
We're live
Mr.
right now on LinkedIn.
With our
So
millions
we're
of
here.
fans.
Yeah,
No,
he
I-
also-
no, you
I
have
know
to
it was
come
hard.
back.
Actually, you need to get, if you want to hear,
I
listen
know-
to the voice.
I know it was hard
Give
to
him
notice
something to
us,
say.
right?
Give
You know,
Ike something
sitting
to
there
say.
talking.
Oh, Ike, say
Hi,
something.
Kevin.
Ike,
All right.
No, come on. Give
you have
him,
to say welcome to
Human Resource
Butt
touching
First
your
Coffee.
Oh,
No,
Welcome to
this is-
Human Resource Touching Your Tech.
oh
Is
my
that what it
gosh!
is?
Don't listen to him. No,
No,
don't. You don't have to worry about that.
I'm gonna give
Okay.
Mike a whole list of things to say.
he does our like the voice of Visier stuff because he's got the.
This is how I know. Yeah, but
See,
I'm
he's
sorry
the
for
difference too. He's
crashing
got
your
the
just
voice.
walking straight in, completely
Thanks
oblivious.
for coming to our party.
There are
Welcome.
3
I had to give it
people
some,
on a couch
response-
talking to a
response made.
laptop, and he didn't notice anything. I
Didn't
just-
notice us at all. He just
Really?
stood back there.
Yeah.
Oh,
You all need
Oh.
talk show cards. This is a talk
Oh.
show. You need talk show.
Oh.
that's right.
yes.
Oh, that's our producer. Look, you know I can't read without
All
my
right.
glasses.
I'll sneak out now. I apologize. for
Thanks.
crashing.
Look, we got
Good
4
morning
more
to you.
minutes.
Okay. Oh,
V.
where did you get those?
I don't even
Gen
know.
AI for People Insights by Visier. That's y'all.
That's
Did you know
you.
that?
Did
I
you know
did.
this was yours?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's
That's
talk
the
about
stuff
that.
we talk-
Can we talk about that?
What?
I
The
mean,
V?
yeah. I think we need to work on that.
Do you though?
I mean,
Instant
it's
answers
expensive.
what I
to
would say,
workforce
actually.
questions.
Like I would say,
Well, this
we
is
gotta
natural
be
language.
Visier, and it
Right.
shouldn't be like V should be the easy way. You shouldn't have this like a super crazy name for it. You
That's
should just
true.
because it just delivers all the stuff, right? Again, you want all the analytics.
You're
V is the
right.
vehicle to get you all that stuff simply, right? Like, why make it a huge thing that's out there?
You know, but I like vehicle. I like
V?
vehicle. Then I get a car, and then I get a thing, and then I get.
We are 79.
We just got a
Thank you so much.
7.9 for
Appreciate
this
that.
score for
We
the
just
show.
got a 7.
We got a
7.9
7.9
out of 8. Out of 8.
Out of 8.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, listen, we got 3
We-
more minutes.
Well, we might need to wrap up because I feel like they're starting to come in now.
Yeah, I think we should wrap up early.
Um,
because,
Jamie with a watch, does he do that? He's like,
Yes.
yes.
Well,
Look, it's very, very.
we have.
it's kind of intimidating.
He
He
is
is when he
intimidating.
stands there like that. It
Look-
is a thing. It is a thing. We just were talking trash about you, and then you came walking in.
Yeah,
like,
I'm a
like-
little scared now. When we end, I won't have any documentation of what you do to me. So
Listen, if you've not had the opportunity to come to a conference like this, a technology conference, there are a few during the year in the U.S. that might be worth your time.
That's right.
Part of it is obviously not obviously getting away, connecting with people, and hearing some ideas about how to get some things done. But part of it is also being exposed to things that you're like, my gosh, I would never have thought that this is a problem. I would never have thought that a solution could be created
That's
for
right.
it. And now I'm exposed to something that I just didn't have a frame of reference for. So there's a lot of positivity I think that can happen here. It is a lot. Wear comfortable shoes.
It is a lot.
I've got my
oh, you got Chuck Taylors. I got my Chuck Taylors.
Mauriceos on
I got the
today.
Chuck
Look at
Taylors
these
with
bad
my-
boys.
You do look at the Chucks.
Got the
It's
Chucks
got
on.
got
They're
the
nice.
Jordans.
They're
Yeah,
nice.
those are-
You like that?
Yeah.
I know,
Yes.
right?
I like
mean,
these.
you're gonna
Like, I
do
don't. My
it.
shoes next to her shoes. That's I gotta plan
Yesterday
better.
I wore my Aaron Pumas, the red Pumas all day, and today is the Humoriso high tops. So, yeah, wear comfortable shoes because you'll do
That's
a
right.
lot
30,000
of walking, a lot miles. But we appreciate y'all. We got up super early. Thank you to Sean for making sure this could happen for
Yes.
us this morning here. So
This is great.
everybody, thank you so much.
And thank you to Ike
And
for the
Jamie was awake.
and
Yeah.
for
And
Jamie
shout
Ike
out
for
to-
ruining the entire
and
show.
for
So
our
we're-
friend
we're-
with the carpet fixer people.
Yes.
I appreciated them.
See, wait, people think it's me. Did they not just come right over to? Did you see them anywhere else fixing carpet?
No, it literally
right behind
in
the
the thing.
laptop.
They were like-
right behind the laptop.
and
But I
didn't
like your
even see
focus.
us.
You two didn't even break stride.
But
Oh,
in
no.
my mind, I'm like, this is just like last week with the
Because we're
guy with
used
the
to it.
leaf blower.
Yeah.
There's one leaf
There
right
was
next
a
to me.
leaf, and my neighbor, the people in the back of my
For
house.
miles.
Every
This
time
is
I
where
start
that
the
is
show,
at.
they're
Yeah.
like,
Yes, I'm afraid to go outside. All right,
Okay.
y'all. Have a great day. Great to see y'all.
All right,
Clink.
all right,
Bye.
bye. All right.
Let's see if I can reach.